Hey, what's going on? Part 2 of the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. Let's get this on. This is new. Please adjust the slider until the dog and cat are friends. Oh, that's awesome. Please adjust the slider until 5 becomes 9. Wait. There we go. Please adjust the slider until you stop adjusting the slider. Which of the two made-up words below is most appealing to you? Occuboinkinal? Scrumtush. I like occuboinkinal. That's a good one. Please don't adjust the slider. Do you know what time it is right now? I do. Is the time that it is right now the correct time? I hope so. What is time anyways? That's not a yes or no question. Anything about yourself you haven't told me? Few things, yeah. Uh-oh. Will you come back to visit me? Of course I will. Alright, let's do this. Let's get a new ending.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Ooh, new content. I'm sure you guys have seen this on other videos, but
Oh, good.
I've never seen this
noticed my
before.
sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
This is new to me.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra-deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra-deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
2. Yo. The end is never the end. Again?
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
You know, I feel like they just slapped a 2 at the end and they called it... I don't know. Let's see. Let's see what they
Calling
got.
it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think?
I do.
Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
Oh, wow. Looks good. Just the 2 of us. We can make it if we try. Just the 2 of us. Good song. all the 2 doors. They're back. What's this? Number 2. A lot of 2s around here. More TSP, better TSP. I don't get it. Every pause button is a Roman numeral 2. Very true.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be. But let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
The prequel to Stanley Parable 2 is the sequel to the... Oh. Sequels are good. Portal 2, Half-Life 2, Batman Arkham City, Arkham Asylum 2, City, Divinity, Doom 2, Aladdin 2, Return of Jafar, Dark Souls 2. Not an easy game. This way to the show floor. Ooh. Ooh. Fancy. Oh, I'm excited. They're really hyping this up. Ta-da! Wow.
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
The button that says the name of the player that is playing the game. What?
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game.
Interesting.
Isn't that wonderful?
I wonder what it's gonna say. Is it gonna be Stanley? Oof. Alright. It's either gonna say David, it's gonna say Saul by default, or it's gonna say Creeper Slayer Inc. One of those 3.
Jim.
No.
Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim.
I am Jim.
I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim, sleeping and waking as Jim, falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim, seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim, and as Jim watching your dreams crumble into dust. Do you feel it deeply? Are you really, truly Jim right now?
I am
If
Jim.
so, then please step forward and press the button.
Jim.
Whew.
Yes! You see? What a thrill! That was you! The button described you. Do it again, do it again.
Jim.
It hits even harder the second time. If this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money. Let's take a break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation.
What? I need to hear it again.
Jim.
Whoa there, cowboy. Sometimes a person can be too much Jim. I'm putting the Jim button away.
No.
Otherwise, soon you'll
Jim,
start to lose
Jim,
all sense
Jim,
of who you actually
Jim.
are.
Jim.
No. The Jim button. I need it back. That is way too small of a button. Yeah, I like that one. going on here? Ooh, what's this? Oh, that is a huge white window. Alright. So, we have the name button. That was cool.
I suppose I could allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable too.
Oh, that's
that
me.
would actually save me the work of finishing this feature.
Lazy bones. Let's go in here. Epilogue.
An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, it would go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
Settings, world champion, infinite hole. Free achievement, hold up. Yo, hold on, jump circle.
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's a... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle.
Oh, come on, give me some more.
Oh, well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece, then.
What? Lame. I need the achievement. Pull the lever, receive new achievement. No more steps. It just works.
Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given to you. It's as simple as that.
Quite the machine.
Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
Better. I'm gonna pull it again. Come on, give me the achievement. There's gotta be something on here. Come on. What is that? Nothing. Are you kidding me? Ugh. Lame. I wanted my free achievement.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
Oh, that must be Stanley. Collectibles.
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life. Whoa.
Yes, let's go. Wait. Oh, that's it? Okay. Gotta find them all.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
Button that says the name. Okay, we checked all these out. All the merch. Ooh. Wait. This way. No, this map is weird. Infinite hole it is then. Oh, hold up.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
Stephanie's.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Happy 12th birthday, step-niece, it is.
Oh, come on. That's... oh.
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision, we're moving on.
Marriage. Oh, I want the one in the middle. Oh. Let's see. Check that out. Check that out. Red is the new orange. Weird noise. Updated, ray traced, more of the same, but in a good way. That's ray tracing. Oh. Interesting. Rim, surrounding area, depth. Ooh. Well, okay.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
Alright. Whoa. Whee.
You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward. Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top. Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things.
But it's an infinite hole, right?
Okay, Stanley, I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole. Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a... Okay, well, Good for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out, Stanley. I'm a liar and a cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling. What normal person actually wants to fall infinitely? I figured the hole was as deep as anyone would actually... Don't you put this on me! Maybe you're the problem! Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite?
No.
If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready.
What's with all the cigarette butts? Alright. Well.
Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel.
Hold on.
Oh, for heaven. You see, I was right. The problem is you. The problem is that you like holes too much. Not normal. A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there. Goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of... Oh. Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time?
It
I
did.
couldn't help but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole, but I didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above. Had enough? I'm positively thrilled. Gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing where... Wow. Okay. Yeah.
The hole's getting smaller.
I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite. I
Interesting.
suspect that I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep, even by the lax overall standards for accountability and marketing. What's going on here? Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here, let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter. Well, there it is. The shame of my lie has come to haunt me. Not only is the hole not infinite... How is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but at this depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch. Oh, who am I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on.
Aw, we need the jump circle.
Is the, teleport button not working?
No.
You sure? Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation. It was Still nothing? Well, I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this. I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley. You couldn't bear to be away from the hole, and now you'll get more time with it than you could ever have asked for. It's a win for everyone.
Nice hole.
You get to be with the hole, I get to do literally anything else. Take care, Stanley.
Later.
I hope you and the hole have a wonderful rest of eternity together.
I can't. Am I just stuck here? Whoa. What? Oh, shit. What's going on? perception. Yo. Odd. Yeah, that's bussin'. Alright. Reality. What?
My head's stronger. Now you're no longer using up the space of mine. My head's stronger. You're no longer.
Stanley. What's going on?
Stanley? Stanley? Stanley! Oh, good, you're awake. It seems you had sort of dozed off there, drifting away into
That's the
dreamland.
coolest hole
But we
ever.
can't have that, Stanley, because this hole is just so darn fascinating that I want you to be wide awake for every second of it. You don't want to miss a single moment. So how about if I just pop in from time to time and wake you up to keep you really, truly focused on the hole? From the looks of things, you and I will have many, many years here in this hole, and I'm looking forward to all of them. Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back. Toodle-pip.
Toodle peep. No, we're... Come on. Yes. Oh, I thought we were doing it again. Alright.
Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
Oh. Reassurance bucket.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try.
Oh.
Can
Yeah.
you feel it? The glow of comfort,
Yeah,
even in the
bucket.
face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
Aw, me and this bucket are homies now.
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
Like my bucket. Bucket. Okay, what haven't I done yet? Settings, world champion. It's right across from the merch, it says. Is this it? No. Oh, maybe that was it. Okay. Yo, me and this bucket are chillin'. Exit? No, I don't want to leave yet. I don't think I've gotten everything. Oh. Okay. Oh, I wonder. Okay. Let's bring the bucket back to the free achievement lever. Pallet jack. Well, maybe we have gotten everything. Well, alright then. Guess it's time for the exit. Wait. The exit. Right. Where was that again? Doo doo doo. Me and the bucket. Which. Wait. Hold on. I gotta check back on my infinite hole. Aw, what? They closed it down? They closed my hole. That's messed up. But I do feel reassured with this bucket. So, no worries. Only found one collectible. That's pretty lame. Ah, yes. Here we go.
All right. Have you seen everything you wanted to?
I have.
Ready to move on now?
Yeah. We got this cool bucket. Ooh.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay, are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2.
Whoa. Oh, there's a collectible.
Well, I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on, let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2." Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Ooh. Whoa. New game. Yes. This is what I've been looking for.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked
Yes,
for
it
a
is
company in a
different.
big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Okay, the only difference was the balloons
And then
there.
one day, something very peculiar happened.
Hey.
Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Okay, so far so good. Got the balloons.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Wait,
Stanley
where's
decided
my
to go to the
bucket?
meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Ah, yes.
Stanley picked up the bucket.
Yes. Okay, I was getting worried there. I wouldn't have my reassurance bucket.
Stanley pressed the bucket upon every little thing in the office. Nothing responded to the bucket's touch, but it did
Something
little to
will.
discourage Stanley's belief in the magic of the bucket.
It reassures me.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Ooh, I like it. Okay.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers.
I love you, bucket. Yes.
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket.
It
You can
does.
feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy. It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the
My
broom
bucket.
closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend. You can't hand it over. Oh no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends? That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I'd never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it.
I'd
Really
never.
tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments. Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket as they have changed and evolved over the years. Let him have it.
Oh, I'm giving it to him.
Okay, I've got you something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all. Here we go.
Whoa.
There. Now it's
Hey.
settled. No more debate, no more discussion. Take a hike, broom closet, with all your meandering philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in the natural order of things. All right, I've got a second sticker back here, and I'm going to slap it on as well because I think it's appropriate. You see, I feel that it works because the sticker is also a bucket. That way, if you're ever
Double
unsure whether
bucket.
the thing you're holding is a bucket or not, you can look down at this sticker and say to yourself, ah, it's a bucket. There really is a wide variety of applications for this sticker. You know what? I could take the name-calling and the dismissal of your kinship with but now, the broom closet is just giving us the silent treatment, and to be honest, I'm sick of the pettiness on display. You can stay here all you like, but I've had it with this impetulant room of cleaning supplies, easily the most childish such room I've ever been in. I'll see you outside, and we can get on with the story about you and your bucket.
It's my bucket. It's even got a little sticker.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Yo.
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
Oh, I do. Because the boss knows that what the boss says goes. If the boss suffered losses, then that's what the boss chose. Amen.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket.
If not.
Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always. The bucket would, and he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck.
It was the bucket.
Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Yes.
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini-stands? Stanley figs? Or what about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
Nice. 3 out of 6. Now, I know if we click this button for the elevator multiple times, something happens.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine. Wait, Stanley said to the bucket. Can we go back up? When I was pressing those keypad buttons, there was something very intriguing about the number 3. I want to go back so I can try pressing the number 3 again. The bucket said nothing.
Oh, I like the bucket. 3, huh? Alright.
Here we are, said Stanley. Now I'm going to try out that number 3 button. He took the bucket over to the keypad and began absolutely slamming on the number 3 over and over and over. Wow, he said. The number 3 is such a special button. I'm having the time of my life. Stanley looked expectantly at the bucket, but the bucket remained silent. This was a shock to Stanley, who had always felt such a connection with the bucket. How was this not as exciting to the bucket as it was to him? Once Stanley had had enough of the number 3, he got back in the elevator.
Ah. Alright, bucket.
Perhaps the bucket had missed something. Perhaps it had not seen how much joy Stanley got from slamming the number 3 repeatedly.
So much joy.
No, said Stanley to the bucket. You can't go on yet. Not till you understand how much the number 3 means to me. You and I have been through so much together, and I just want you to see what I see. Feel the happiness I feel. He smiled at the bucket, and the bucket said nothing.
Ah, the bucket loves me.
Here we go, said Stanley. This time I'll really show you. He ran to the number 3 and began to wail on it like a musician on a beloved instrument, weaving a concerto of truth and passion. He wielded the number 3 like a fine artist would wield a paintbrush. He told stories through the number 3, stories of his dreams and hopes and fears. And the whole time, he looked to his bucket for a reaction of some kind. Anything to let him know that the bucket appreciated what he was doing. The bucket conveyed absolutely nothing at all, only silence. Crushed by a wave of dejection, Stanley returned to the elevator.
Ah. You'll get it one of these days, bucket. You'll understand what the number 3 means to me.
Stanley and the bucket were so close. They'd always been there for one another. Why suddenly could the bucket not connect with this passion of Stanley's? The question caused Stanley to ruminate the whole way down the elevator. He knew that there must be a way to get through to the bucket, to communicate fully with his dear friend. Surely there was a solution, mustn't there be?
I think we gotta go back up. That's our solution. Come on, Bucket.
"Ah," said Stanley. "I know what to do. I know how to fully express this feeling in my heart." He decided right then and there that he would hold a press conference where he would speak to the public on all matters relating to pressing the number 3 over and over. He would elaborate fully on what the number 3 meant to him and why he felt so alive when pressing it. Then the bucket would be able to see his joy through the eyes of others. It would get to see the world react to this discovery of Stanley's. And it would be through the public eye that the bucket would finally understand Stanley's work. For months, he advertised and marketed his press conference, building excitement around it, developing and rehearsing it, until it couldn't be refined a single measure further. When the big day arrived, Stanley was as prepared as he'd ever been for anything in his life.
You watch me, Bucket.
This was it. One last chance to win the bucket over. One opportunity to share a true connection with a loved one.
Up again, down again. The dude who came up with pizza.
There was no one here.
What?
Nobody had come to the press conference to hear Stanley speak, to listen to him talk about what it really means to press the number 3 on a keypad over and over. He was unloved, uninteresting, he was a failure, and in that moment Stanley knew that the bucket would never again take him seriously.
Aw.
There would be no connection, no deeper understanding. The bucket merely sat there in his arms, indifferent. And so it began that slowly, over many years, the two of them grew more and more distant. They spoke less and less, neither wishing to state the obvious, that any sense of real respect between them had eroded since that day at the press conference. There would be no more games, no more long conversations about passion and pursuit, only a silence that consumed the space between friends. And Stanley, having for once in his life discovered the warmth and comfort of true companionship, was cast back into the unremarkable normalcy of loneliness.
I heard coughing. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
I need my
Stanley
bucket.
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I want him back. Ooh, collectible? Yes.
Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Whoa. Small floating objects have appeared across the office. We have to synergize our resources to ensure their retrieval.
Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet, simply because I have no remaining stickers.
Please.
If I did, you can guarantee we'd be in here for hours. But alas, no stickers.
I want a sticker. I want a sticker, please. Come on, just one more. Lame.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Oh,
Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies. What do you think, Stanley? What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for it. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong.
No.
Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket.
my bucket.
And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground.
Whoa.
Oh, gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Bucket.
Stanley! Stanley, it's me! The bucket!
Bucket.
Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next.
No.
None of them were his.
These
None
aren't
of
my
them were his
stickers.
special bucket.
Come to me, Stanley. Find me.
He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew
No.
where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along. It was incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out.
Oh. I am the bucket?
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work.
Ah.
But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was.
I lost my bucket.
This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
What? Wish I could backflip all the way to work with my bucket. Alright, that's gonna be the end of part 2. Part 3 on its way soon. This game is awesome. You know, I was wondering what they would add to this game, and honestly, with the bucket, I'm satisfied. That's all I needed. I just need this bucket. So next game, you will see me with the bucket, and that'll be it. You guys take it easy. Later.